Hi. So, I ordered the GoPlus inflatable fishing float off of Amazon.com. Alright? Now, I was a little skeptical when I was first ordering this, because inflatable boat mixed with fishing hooks, maybe not the best together. Maybe not the best idea. But I'm full of bad ideas, and so I bought it anyways. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's... I was looking at like reviews and stuff online, and it seems pretty decent. There was only like one video that I found that was really pretty decent when it came to fishing floats, but it wasn't specifically for this float, the GoPlus inflatable fishing float. Alright. And so I figured that I would go ahead and do my own video, because why not? If I'm curious about how it's going to perform and how it's going to be out on the water, then I'm sure that there's got to be at least one other person. Hey, that's you. I'm talking to you. There's got to be at least one other person that is curious as to how this thing is. So before you buy it, you can watch this video and find out. So without further ado, let's get it opened up and see what we've got. I think the float was like $130 before tax, so whatever the sales tax is in your state, in your area, you can kind of figure it out on your own, whatever it's going to cost you. But since it's over the $25, it is free shipping. So I mean, you've got that to look forward to. Okay, so what do we have here? It says, do not open with a knife. I just opened mine with a knife. Maybe you should not do that. Maybe you should not open it with a knife. I don't know why it says that on the inside of the box. It's kind of hard to know that before you open the box with the knife, that you're not supposed to open it with a knife. Does it say it somewhere? Oh yes, it does. It says it right on the front. I guess that makes sense. You know, it's like a inflatable thing. You shouldn't open it with a knife. Whatever. It is too late now. So this is the pump that comes with it. It's a pretty decent size. That's pretty big, right? It says this application is for rubber boats, air rings, air jackets, inflatable mattresses, etc., as well as inflatable toys and tents. Alright, so that's pretty neat. I guess you can use it for more than just a float, if that's something that you're interested in. I don't have any of that other stuff, but maybe you do. You can pump up your mattress. It comes with the hose, with a bunch of little nozzles. I don't know if is there a difference between these? Yeah, I guess so, huh? Okay, so it's got some different nozzles on it. There's like 4 different kinds. It's a pretty decent size. Seems good. What else do we have? Okay, so we've got big red and a big green thing in here. And something else that just fell out of the bag. Whatever these things are. They're like 2 little, I guess it's like plastic, 2 little plastic discs. Okay, so this is one of the tubes that you will hook up this hose to right here, and then pump it up with that. Alright, so I guess this is an important piece. Don't want to lose this. It's really sticky. Here is another big one. There we go. I figured it out. You've got to be smarter than the float. Alright. So that's the other big one, I guess. One for one side, one for the other. And then it looks like we have 2 smaller ones. Right, so there is a little typo right there. I don't know if that is something that you are concerned about, but I always kind of get a little iffy on things when there are typos, like in the manuals and stuff. Because it's kind of like somebody's got to read this to figure out how it works, and if there are typos and stuff like that in it, then, well, it might not be all that easy to figure out how it works. Right, so typos and that kind of thing, for me, it's kind of like a little red flag. But it's not a deal breaker, so let's keep going. Well, I mean, just looking at it, it's pretty decent size. These little bags on the side, those are pretty cool. So place your float tube flat on the floor with the pockets facing up. Okay, so these things, these pockets, right? Those will be facing up. Inflate the two pontoon bladders about 30%, just enough to hold their shape. So don't like fill it all the way up in one go, apparently. Yes. Check the bladders by unzipping the pontoons. That would be, where's the zip? Okay, so there are zippers that go along the length of it. I guess that's how you're supposed to check the how much you have it blown up, what percentage. Okay, so seems good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and insert one of our flotation tubes into our float here. All right, we're gonna put it into the main section here. You have to unzip that. Go ahead and put it in. Make sure that we've got the right side. You want this little inflation nozzle. You want that sticking out of this hole right here. All right, that way you can blow it up, right? That's kind of the whole point. If you can't blow it up, then, well, what's the point? So what you want to do is, before you screw that on, so basically you want to pop that through here first, and then get it lined up, and then screw this in. I'm not really sure what the point is of there being like this part that you have to screw on here. I didn't design it, so I guess I don't know what's best. I guess like the first time that you do this is really going to be like the hardest time, I guess, because once you have it in here, then you don't really need to worry about all the setup, I would imagine, when you go to do it again like a second time. Because I mean, once it's set up, it's set up. All right, so we've got that. That kind of pops into there. So that's how that's supposed to go on. You're supposed to screw this on first and then push this down over top of it, and it pops into place. I'm gonna zip this up quick, just like that. Go ahead and get the green one, put it in the other side there. Okay, so we've got our float tube installed on both this side and that side. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step. All right, so it says step number 4, inflate the flotation. Make sure the rip and grip tabs attach the bladder to the pontoon cover align. Always take out some air before leaving your float tube in a car. The heat can expand the air and make it explode. That would suck. Inflate the two pontoon bladders about 30%, just enough to hold their shape. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. On the pump here, hey, you can see me. Hello. That's awkward. All right, so on the cap here, it says you have to put the hose into this side to inflate, and put the hose into this side here to deflate. It probably is not going to come up in the video very well, but if you do end up buying this and you get it and it's the same pump, it will say that on your pump. Pretty easy to read, pretty easy to understand. Put it in and then twist it to basically just lock it in place. So let's go ahead and try to pump this up. Now the instruction manual does say to only use like foot and hand pumps, but I'm sure if you were careful, you could probably get away with using an electric pump. You would just have to be careful not to let it get away from you and inflate too fast, because then you might blow up your tube here, and that would suck. All right, so it says once you get to like about 30%, which I think I'm just about there, to unzip it and make sure that it's sitting in here properly. I'm gonna scoot it over a little bit. Ideally, you would want to do this on a flat surface, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Since they're two independent chambers, we can inflate this one all the way and then go over to that one and inflate that one all the way. So it doesn't really matter what order you do it in. Let's see what happens after you get to 30%. Inflate the flotation bladders until most of the wrinkles are out of the cover. If any twists develop, stop, deflate the bladder, straighten it within its pocket and reinflate. Close the valve caps tightly. You may need to add or release some air if you travel between low and high elevations, or if the temperature changes. Always take out some air before leaving your float tube in a car. The heat can expand the air in the bladders quite a bit, and if it expands too much, it'll explode, and that would suck. That seems good. I'm gonna keep going. I've only been pumping for, I don't know, like a couple of minutes, and it's already basically completely inflated. I'm gonna read ahead, make sure that I don't miss anything. Step number 5, connect the two spreader bar pieces by inserting the long. Okay, so basically, I'm sitting on the floor for you guys. With my achy breaky knees, you better leave a like for that. I'm out here suffering for you. All right, so basically you take these two tubes here and you put the smaller one into the piece with the coupling. Put that in, make sure that the angled pieces here on the ends, make sure that those are both going the same direction. Put it on the floor, make it a little easier. Try to get it lined up as best as possible. There you go. Then you're gonna take this long tube that you have here now. You're gonna take that and slide it into where? You take that and slide it into the ends here. It's kind of like a Velcro pouch. Took me a second to figure that one out. I was like, why is it not opening? All right, so you're gonna slide this all the way down and through the other side there. Okay, it seems a little short maybe. Just kind of odd. Okay, no. I know what's up. All right, so basically you're gonna take that side and put it in there like that, right? Okay, so what they want you to do is they want you to take the end of this and put it in here like that, right? Okay. And then They want you to push this through like all the way as far as it'll go. Come on. There we go. Just like that. And then put this end into the other piece over here. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. That is what they are looking for. Alright. And then you have your clips here. I want to clip this in, tighten it up so it doesn't fall out. Make sure the other end is in this little sleeve here, and then take your clip and clip it just like that. Make sure it's tight. Not too tight though, I guess. So we still gotta inflate the tubes here a little bit. Let's back it off a little bit. Back this side off just a smidge. Just a smidge. Alright, there we go. So now we've got the spreader bar in there. Let's see what the next step is. Alright, so I couldn't figure out any way to pump up the seat cushion or the backrest cushion with that pump that they give you with the float. I tried the different nozzles on there, but the little nozzles on these, the little spigots, whatever you want to call them, they're just like your standard, like super basic pinch and then blow into them in order to inflate them. So they don't really work super well with the pump. They weren't too difficult to just blow up just using my mouth. So then once you get these blown up, the backrest, there's a little pouch on the back side right here. You would just shove this into there. Maybe put this in before blowing it up. I'm not super sure which one would be easier. I'm gonna leave them out because I'm actually going to put some weight on all of the flates and then let it sit overnight and see how well it is at retaining, see how good it does at retaining its inflation. Okay, because I'm gonna be out on the water with it. If it's gonna lose its inflation in like half an hour, then that's something that I wanna, that's something that I wanna know before I get out on the water. And then the red one there, the seat cushion, on the bottom side, there's a zipper here. You just unzip that, shove it in there. Again, I would assume that it's easiest to blow it up first and then shove it in there. But yeah. And then this is kind of just just like a strap, kind of like at the on the shopping carts when you go to like Walmart or something like that, to keep the baby in place. How it's got like the strap that goes like in the middle, near the crotch, to separate the legs. You've got the same thing there. Well, actually, I think the shopping carts just have like a bar because you put your feet in between the bar. But whatever, you know what I'm talking about.
All men and women created by you know the thing.
It separates your legs, all right? So the pockets on either side, they do not have anything to keep them propped up like they're shown in the pictures. There's not like any cardboard or anything inside. I'm sure you could put some cardboard in there if you wanted them to just be constantly propped up, but if you're buying them expecting them to be like perfectly rectangular, that's not gonna be the case. There's nothing keeping them up like that. All right, now on the side here, you have two little Velcro straps, which I'm assuming this is where you would keep your paddle. If you were using a paddle, you could maybe place it along the side here and then strap it into place. So you have those there. And is it on the other side too? Yep. All right, so you have those on either side of your float. Now the set comes with 2 pairs of shoulder straps right here. All right, these are basically what you use to carry your float like a backpack, right? So you take the little clip end here. It's a little clip end. It's kind of hard to do with just one hand, but those clip on to the underside here, right there, and then that lets you toss it on and carry it around like a backpack. So it's easy to get to the lake, to the river, from your car or whatever you were using to transport it. All right, so like I said before, I'm going to go ahead and put some weight on all of the flotation tubes and see if it loses any of its inflation overnight. I'm gonna let it sit for 24 hours and hopefully we have some good results. All right, I have some high hopes for this thing. I mean, it seems pretty decent now that I've got it like blown up and put together and everything. It seems like a pretty nice float. So far I'm pretty impressed. The manual is a little lacking, but I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, it's not like it's a deal breaker, really. So let's get some weight on all of the flotation tubes, and then I will meet back with you here in a second. I went ahead and added some weight on top of all of the flotation tubes. For the main flotation tubes, I added about 12 pounds. I don't have a ton of weight that I can put on top of these, but I figured 12 pounds would be a good amount. That's like if you're resting your arms over on them, or if you have stuff in the pockets. And then for the seat, I put 25 pounds on. Obviously, if somebody sitting on top of this is going to weigh more than 25 pounds. But if there is any kind of leak in it, then definitely over 24 hours, we should see some kind of noticeable difference. Right now, it's pretty full, so we'll definitely see a difference, some kind of decrease in the volume of that if there is any leak. And then for the backrest, I didn't really put a lot. I mean, you're gonna be putting a lot of weight or a lot of pressure on the backside on that backrest. I mean, you will if you lean back, but you have the actual float to support you if you're leaning back, other than just that cushion there. So I opted not to put a lot on that cushion. Again, if there is a leak in the flotation tubes or in the seat or the backrest, we'll definitely see some kind of noticeable difference over the course of 24 hours. Yeah, I'll check back in with you guys in 24 hours, and hopefully she is good to take out on the water. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And we are back, guys. It has been 24 hours since we left the float inflated with the weight on it. Let's see how it's doing. As you can see, not so good. Okay. However, don't just say that it's complete garbage or anything like that. I kind of thought about it, and 12 pounds is kind of a lot. That's a lot of weight to be on these. So I am going to dump it down to 6 pounds. 6 pounds of weight on either side. And also, these little, as you can see, the little nozzles where you fill it up at, right? So I left the little cap unscrewed on it. I wasn't super sure whether or not these have to be screwed on. I was kind of thinking that they're only really on here in order to prevent water from getting into this little little valve that's inside, the little coupling. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably also to help the tube, the pontoon, to retain air. Also, as you can see here, the lid, the little screw-on cap, it does have a gasket in it, so this probably does need to be screwed on, even if you aren't taking it out in the water, in order to ensure that the air stays within the pontoon. So we are going to give it a second chance. We're gonna give it a second chance. All right. I'm gonna fill it up again. I'm gonna put less weight on it because 12 pounds is probably overkill, right? Nobody's gonna have 12 pounds of gear and like fishing tackle and whatnot. So we're gonna put less weight on it, 6 pounds. We're gonna screw on the caps, and then we're gonna see how it's doing after 24 hours. All right, I went ahead and got the boat pumped back up. She is at full capacity. I'll be putting the weights in the pockets just like last night. And then also, I got the caps twisted on so that gasket is in place, and hopefully it performs a lot better than it did last time. Really quick, before I forget, the seat cushions have been sitting here for 24 hours also, and there is no noticeable difference whatsoever between last night and right now. Even this one with the, whoops, get that out of here. I was eating flaming hot Doritos. A good life hack, use clothespins as chip clips. Works extremely well, super cheap also. Anyways, back to the review. The main seat cushion, the part that you'll be sitting on, the one that I put the whopping 25 pounds on, also no noticeable difference whatsoever. It is still plenty puffed up, so hopefully will perform pretty well out on the water. Hopefully we have some better results than we did tonight. Hopefully it retains a lot more air, because if it doesn't, that sucks. I will see you guys in 24 hours, okay? Don't go anywhere. And welcome back. It has been 24 hours yet again. Well, it's bright outside, so not quite 24 hours, but it's been like 20, okay? God, give me a break. Close enough. And look, it's still blown up. Look at that. It did much better this time. So these little caps that are on the intakes, the air intakes, those absolutely 100% need to be screwed on in order for that gasket to engage, in order for it to retain all the air that you put in. So unless you want to go for a swim instead of going fishing, I would kind of recommend putting those on and screwing them on. And then also the seat cushions over here, they're still completely inflated also. So those have been sitting there for 2 days now, I think. Still perfectly inflated. So yeah, it's pretty sweet, guys. I've got to say, I was not expecting it to hold the air as well as it actually is, as it has turned out to. Especially the seat cushions. I would have expected those to go down at least a little bit after 2 days. But I think it's pretty safe to assume that there is absolutely no leaks in this whatsoever, at least as far as I can tell. So yeah. All right, so we'll be wrapping this this first part of the video, like the unboxing and the setup, and the general like overview of what it's like, what you can expect before you get it out onto the water here in just a moment. Really quick, want to go over just a couple more things that I found out while I was kind of wrapping up the setup. It's a lot easier to install the seat cushions before you blow them up, because if you blow it up and then you try to get it in, you're gonna hate your life. You're not gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be awful. So make sure that you put those in before you blow them up. And then if you want to let out some air, if it's blown up too much, if you have too much support, if you want it to be a little more relaxed, I guess, it's pretty basic. You just squeeze the little nozzle and then push down a little bit, and the air will start to come out. One thing that I would like to note really quick is that if I could improve anything about the seat cushions, is I would change the nozzle on them. I don't really know why they would use these nicer nozzles that can be blown up with the pump there on these. I mean, it's understandable because they're bigger, I guess. It would take forever to blow those up by blowing into them. That would suck. But if you're gonna put them on these, then why not also put them on these ones? Because blowing these up by on your own, it's not incredibly difficult. It does take a little bit. And then if you want to completely deflate it, so that it will, let's say, like fit into your trunk or whatever, it takes a little while for it to let out all of the air. Okay, it does take a little while. So if they would have installed this style of nozzle onto these, then you could just use the pump, the deflate option on the pump to like suck the air out basically, and it would make it a lot faster. I don't really know why they wouldn't do that. I would gladly spend the extra, I don't know, like $10, however much they want to charge for that type of nozzle, for that type of air intake. But I don't know, man. Dang it, now I've got to blow this back up. Alright, now if you want the seat to be a little more laid back, then you just adjust the straps here. You can see on the back part of the seat, on the backrest, I guess is what you would call it. There are these little straps here that are attached to the back, right? And basically to stop you from, I guess if you wanted, you could lay all the way back. I don't know who would want to do that, but I suppose you probably could. Well, I guess not, because it's attached here. So that's about as far back as it goes. But if you want it to be a little more laid back, then you can just let out a little more of the strap, and it'll go back a little bit. If you want it to be seated up a little more, sitting more upright, then just tighten the strap and it'll pull it forward. All right. So you have some options. All right, so now let's see how easy it is to get into it. Obviously, it'll probably be a lot easier if it's on the water than in my cramped little apartment. But I'm still gonna try it out just so I kind of have a general idea of what it's like when we get out on the water. Shut up. All right, so the little mesh here with like the ruler, you could use it as like a shelf or whatever to hold your lunch or whatever you've got with you out on the water while you're fishing. If you just pull it back, there's some Velcro on it to kind of keep it in place. Pull it back, it opens up where you can put it in your legs. So let's try it out. All right. Oh God, I'm getting old. Oh. All right. All right. I mean, it's pretty comfy to sit in, even though, well, I'm sitting pretty far back. This is not ideal. Let's tighten the straps up a little bit. I was not expecting it to go quite that far back. Not expecting that. Alright, so you have to keep the straps pretty tight in order to really be like upright. Like you can lean back a little bit. I wish that the backrest came up just a little bit higher. It's kind of hitting like right in the middle of my back, which isn't really ideal because I have to. It might be different when it's in the water. Maybe it'll sit more upright. I don't know. We'll have to find out. I mean, it's pretty comfy. It's pretty cushion. If there's something else that you want to know about the boat, then just leave me a comment down below. If there's something that you think I could have done better, then let me know that too. I will always appreciate any help that I can get. All right, so just let me know. Well, all right. Without further ado, let's get it out on the water. Not quite. Yep. Yep. It's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.